Hi everyone, it's Tracey here from Art Fibre Stitch, and today we're going to make what you've just seen. Now, what started today's project off was I looked at this little group of threads that I already had for something else. There's a lot of pearl cottons in there and flat ribbons and things. So some material that will match that. And I've gone for that one. That's a nice texture. This one's a nice print. A little bit of aqua, and I think we're ready to roll. So I'm going to just snip and rip this one, and I'm going to do it on both sides because I really think it looks good. I like the edge on that. So other side as well. So much easier than cutting, and it'll do it straightish. Alright, so now we're looking at this one, and this one is a nice print. I'm just going to cut out a square and look to where I might put it. Up here, down here, that might be the spot. Alright, this one's a lovely curtain kind of upholstery fabric. I love it. I've used it many times because I love it so much. Leaves should be going up that way, I think. Round about there I'll be happy with. So there we go. I've got 4 pieces of material there. And once I've got it where I want, I'll shove a pin in it, trim that off so that it's the same as my background fabric. My background fabric is just a light calico. And now I'm going to look through these threads and see what I can use. Decisions. Alright, so this is quite a thick thread, and I'm using a large-eyed needle, and I'm not going to do a knot on this one. I'm just going to do 2 stitches on top of each other and then through to the front. And I'm thinking I might do a fly stitch, a very rough looking fly stitch all the way down the edge, and that's going to hold down that textured piece, and it's going to hold down that aqua colored overlay, and that'll do me for now. I think that's a good start. So I'll continue all the way down, and you know, a fly stitch, it's up on the left, down on the right, and holding the thread out the way, bring it up in the middle further down. That's it. We've trapped that into a lovely V, and now we just do the little stem underneath. And whilst I'm underneath there, I'm just going to come up ready for the next one. So once again, you can watch my videos on these things, but I do them rather a lot. There are like half a dozen stitches I use a lot. When I'm finished, I'll go through to the back and I'll do a couple of stitches on top of each other, and there we are. I'm going to start with another thread now. This is a more of a ochre kind of goldy color, tan maybe. And I'm thinking I'm going to use it, it's also a thick one, but I'm going to use it to couch down this other one, and it's too thick to sew with, this other one, so I'm going to couch it down, and I'm going to start off just attaching that top bit. Alright, now I want to do some crosses, so I'm going to start with a few crosses. Now this, as I said, this thread is rather thick, so it's not doing very attractive crosses. Not that I care. I don't aim for perfection. But as I get further down, I think, okay, well, let's intersperse it. We don't have to stick with it just because we've started that way. So I do a few stitches from one side to the other. And that's like a ladder, I think. And then when I get down the bottom, I'm going to do some more crosses, but make them much larger this time. So I mixed it up. I did a few different stitches. So that's 3 stitches already for holding things down. I'm happy with that. At the bottom, I'll turn it through to the back, do a couple of knots, stitches on top of each other. So now that worked, and I'm using a different thread. I'm using a white or very pale blue one, and I'm just going to do a running stitch here, like a wavy line all the way down, And then when I get to the other end, I'm going to turn it round like that and go back. And I'll have caught by the time I'm finished, nearly all of that down, I would think, that aqua colour. So now I'm looking for some other threads that I can use. I'm starting with some greens, and I'm going to hold down this leaf pattern, and I'm going to make leaf shapes, and I'm just going to continue out into that background space and maybe even over into the aqua and just hold it down. And I like doing this. I've done it quite a few times and I think it works really nicely. When you're slow stitching, it's a great idea because you don't have a pattern to just follow what's indicated in the material. There's leaves there, so I'm just going to continue the leaf design, the motif, and I'll bring it back and join up with the one that's printed there, and then I'll work my way up and I'll just keep doing that. And that's a good start with that too. So let's have a look so far. There you can see those wavy lines, you can see the fly stitch, you can see where we've couched on that ribbon, and here we've started that running stitch, leaves, but this one here we haven't shown you yet. That I did some blanket stitch and just some straight long stitches on those flowers to try and pull that design out a bit. I'm checking to see if it fits underneath my surround and how it will look as a whole picture. And now let's have a look at how this blanket stitch is done. That needle up, I'm holding that thread out the way again and just doing these stitches that trap it. You'll also find my videos on blanket stitch if you can't pick it up here. I'm also making sure when I do it that I've got some longer and some shorter and it's not uniform. I'm going through now and I'm putting a lighter color interspersed with that dark brown. And it is once again up and over the edge of the material and out into that blank space. So we'll have another look. And I've done a lot more to those leaves, you can see that. Different color greens. What next? See how sometimes I stitch outside the area of the print? It really makes those stitches show up. I like that. Sometimes it would be lost if I put it actually on the green print. But outside the edge, yeah, adds a little something. And here I'm going to try just a few little seed stitches. That's another way to hold down an edge. You can see that I'm doing it here. And I'm going to extend that out into the negative space as well. I'm really just using the material to suggest its own way. So with these leaves, I'm following some of the lines that are already printed there. The same with the flowers. And picking different colors of green as it is in those leaves. And at some stage I decide, well, I'd like a brighter color in there. So I pick up a teal, and I also do a few stitches with that. And some seed stitches. But right now, let's have a look what else we can do. So we followed the line. I'm also doing some of the veins of the leaf that go out to the end. Love those leaves. Here's that seed stitch in this brighter color. I did feel like we needed a little bit of bright in there. And I'll continue that down on the leaf, and as I have done here out in the what I'm calling negative space, but really it's the calico background. I like to cut a length of thread and just keep going until it's finished. Sometimes as I'm stitching out it'll lead me somewhere else, and that's That's good. Can you see over here there is a vague kind of leaf design here too? I'm just going to do some running stitch there to try and show it up a little bit better. There's a few of those thin strappy leaves. I'll use 2 different colours. I'm just finishing off that thread. You can see over here. But I've always got to check, what's going to be seen, you know? Well, I'd like to do something more here, and I'd like it to be a brighter colour. So I'm grabbing a variegated thread, and it's got yellow and orange and a nice greeny yellow. And I'm going to just do long stitches interspersed with those brown and the other one that we did, the russety colour. All the time making sure that I go different lengths each time, you know, and they go out like spokes on the wheel from that center white of that flower. And because it's variegated, that works really well. And I'm going out and over top of the leaves and over into the calico, and I'll just do those ones as well down the bottom there and just leave it at that. But one more thing, I had some frayed edges here, and I was thinking, well, what can I do? I can pull them out, I can deal with it, but I decided I'd make something out of it. So I have those frayed edges, and I'm thinking, let's put something there. What I'm starting off with is a beigey colour, and I'm doing some French knots. And as I continue on, I'll bring some white in, and I'll do French knots that leave a little stem that come out from there around the needle, and then instead of going in near where I started, I go out, and it does a nice little what they call a pistol stitch. So I'm continuing with that, and then I bring some green in. I do a few French knots in green, and I'm finishing off with a little bit of fly stitch here, and that'll be like I don't know, a grassy head. I don't know, something is poking up there, and I'm just going to make that fly stitch into that ferny kind of leaf at the base of this frond of flowers there. So as you can see, one thing leads to another, and I end up not doing exactly what I think I'll do. You know, you can't plan it out. It does not look pretty when you look at the whole thing. I think I really like this one. I hope you do too. And don't forget to have a go yourself. If you've liked it, don't forget to press like and subscribe, and we'll do something more fun next time. But just pick up those scraps, do a few stitches, and enjoy.